about, like, I wanted to explain to you what the dimensions of this self care. You're trying to explain the other times that physical, all those things, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Can you expatiate more?
Okay, so I believe I already mentioned three of the dimensions, which is the physical dimension, the emotional dimension,
Okay.
then the interpersonal social dimension.
Okay.
And but then I was also going to mention one last dimension that's also very critical. Actually, people don't take it seriously, but at the same time, we also don't joke with it. But when we talk about self-care, people don't really pay special attention to it. And that dimension is the spiritual dimension. Spirituality. It is the medium through which we find meaning and purpose in life, in what we do. It is what gives meaning and makes our existence, our day-to-day life, waking up every day, doing what we love doing. It's what gives it the underlying meaning that, okay, at the end of the day, this is why what I do. This is the reason why I do what I do. This is why it is worth it at the end of the day. So, what gives people spirituality or meaning is different. For some people, they find it in religion. For some people, they find it in their work. For some people, they find it in volunteering. For some people, they find it in an hobby or a sport, or a vocation, whatever it may be. The point is that you should be able to answer the question, what makes life meaningful for you? Right.
All right. So thank you so much. So how do we take care of ourselves physically? How do you take care of yourself physically? What should people do to take care of themselves physically?
There are essential things that we have to do,
Okay.
and there are the extra things that people do that are not really essential, right? When it comes to physical care, you know that you don't want to ingest anything that is capable of causing any harm to your body, that might affect your health. So what you take in is very important, right? But at the same time, if you are taking something in, you also want to make sure that you don't neglect the part of taking things out. Right, cleaning up, right? All those things are also very important. And then, of course, you also want to pay attention to. You don't want to overburden or overwork your body, right? So you want to regulate what you do in terms of physical exertion. You don't want to stress yourself too much. You want to sleep when you are supposed to sleep. You want to eat the right proportion of meal you are supposed to take. You don't want to overeat. At the same time, you don't want to undereat, right? And then also, you also want to exercise, right? Especially for people who work in professions that are very, what's it called now? Sedentary, right? They don't move about much, right? So you want to make sure that exercising, running, jogging, walking, physical activity is a part of your daily routine, right? So those are some of the ways that we take care of our body. And of course, there is the extra that people might want to do, making up, skincare, all of those things. They are not essential, but they are the extra.
They are essential for ladies.
Well,
please.
they
They are not essential for men. For men, for ladies, they're very, very important.
But you believe that we can do without them, right?
I can't do without them. Okay, so if you see a lady that doesn't have a glowing skin, would you like her? Will you be attracted to her? Can you see that?
No.
Can you see that?
Some people can be attracted to them.
Some people.
So
Why not
for
you?
instance,
why not you?
Is there anybody that can do without eating? Is there anybody that can do without eating?
Yes, I can do without eating as long as I see.
For how long?
I can drink.
For how long?
For like a week. For like a week.
Yeah. But a lady or a woman can do without makeup, like forever. She won't die.
Makeup is not skincare.
She won't die.
Makeup is not skincare.
I mentioned them separately. I said skincare and makeup, the aesthetics.
Okay.
By the way, they have psychological value, right?
Okay.
But not physical. We are talking about physical dimension.
Yeah.
But when you get to the emotional, interpersonal, psychological, spiritual dimension, all those things matter.
All right. So thank you so much. Guys, I hope you are learning one or two because obviously I'm learning. So now let's talk about the principles. What are the principles of self-care?
Okay, so when we talk about principles of self-care, we are talking about some important things that people need to know about taking care of themselves, irrespective of your self-care needs or your self-care routine.
So what are those things?
So number one is that your primary or your first responsibility is you.
Okay.
That's
Myself.
That's
an
your
individual.
first, as an individual.
Okay.
That's your first responsibility as an adult in life. You. The second principle is that there are common self-care needs and there are unique self-care needs.
Okay.
That's the number 2 principle.
Okay.
Common ones are the ones shared by everybody.
Alright.
Unique ones are the ones peculiar to you.
My unique.
Your unique self-care. Right. So that's why you can't compare yourself to other people or base your self-care plan on what other person is doing.
Okay.
So now number 3 principle is that you have to discover or find out what your unique self-care needs are.
Okay.
Right? That's the number 3.
You have to do what others are doing.
Others are doing. For instance, how many hours of sleep do you need to feel rested and refreshed per day?
But generally, we should sleep 8 hours now.
That's the norm.
Okay.
And the norm is an average. So it doesn't apply to anybody in particular. So when you want to give a general advice, that's when you say
especially
6 to 8 hours. Yeah.
Negotiations.
But when you zoom into an individual, you'll find out that there are people who thrive very well on 5 hours sleep.
Yeah.
And there are some people without 9 to 10 hours, they cannot survive.
Yeah.
So you have to know that about yourself. The same applies to every other aspect of self-care. So that's principle number 3. Find out your own unique needs, self-care needs. Then number 4, the last principle, your self-care plan, both for the short term and the long term, should take into consideration your unique self-care needs. In fact, they should be based more on your unique self-care needs. So that means that you don't want to follow the crowd to do what they are doing.
Okay.
You don't want to say that because everybody is doing this, I have to do it.
Okay.
Or you don't want to say that you are being advised not to do something, and then you are saying that, but this person is doing it and it's not affecting them. Why can't I do it?
Why is mine different?
Yours can be different because you might have vulnerabilities, biological, genetical vulnerabilities that others don't have. So you have to take that into consideration. So those 4 are the principles of self-care. So they apply irrespective of whatever the self-care routine is.
Okay, thank you so much,
You're welcome.
Mr. Samuel.
It's been a pleasure.
All right.
Oh, you looking beautiful.
Hey, God. Guys, so that is it for now. I'm sure you have listed out some key points what you mentioned. I'm sure you are learning. So self-care is unique. It's not something that is general. You shouldn't do something because someone else is doing it, okay? And be truthful to yourself. You don't know your history. You don't know your biological components. You don't know maybe if this guy uses this thing, if I use it, it's going to react in my body. You know that. So don't do something because others are doing it. Be real to yourself and take care of yourself. Remember I said we are going to talk about the implications. So watch out for the implications, okay? Thank you for watching. Love you. Bye for now.